Hi, how's it going over there, everybody? My name's Peter and I'm with Shopbox, and today we're going to be talking about a question that was asked by a gentleman named Corey Stewart, and this is a very interesting question for me because if you are in the sign business for a long time, you may have asked yourself this question as well. So Corey asks, I'm not sure where your sign industry experience lies, but I would love to learn about building and installing lit signs like channel letters and light boxes. So Corey, I'm here to tell you that every sign shop owner has asked this question at one point or another. It usually comes when you are in a vinyl shop. And I express what vinyl shop is. If you're a shop that's currently doing banners and substrate signs like plexiglass signs and corrugated plastic signs, and you're doing a lot of vended products like A-frames and flags and so on and so forth, you tend to have really good margin with those particular products. But if you really want to take that next step and expand your business into the fabrication world, you're going to have to start to learn how to do channel letters, light boxes, cabinets, and all different types of metal fabrication that comes along with that. Now, why is it that most sign shop owners ask themselves this question? Well, for the most part, it's a very high-ticketed dollar amount that we're going after now, right? So instead of doing the few $100 jobs that have really high margin, we're actually now expanding into fabrication, where you're going to end up doing $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 jobs at maybe a little less of margin. Maybe you're at potentially 30% margin instead of 60 or 70% on what you are currently doing. But you're getting into a market where now you can become a full-fledged sign operation. Most sign shops have asked themselves this question. Some stay in the vinyl production lane. They like the high profit dollars. They like the low cost of operation right now, because you'll realize that once you expand into that realm, you're going to have to invest a lot of capital into some equipment and even into some space there, whether it be warehouse space, or if you're going to have a second location to do this work in. You're also going to have an investment into more personnel, into more employment, into more labor. And these are all the things that most sign shop owners look at when they're getting into this particular type of market. Real quick, just to kind of go over a little bit about what you could be expecting. If you're going to get into fabrication, you're going to end up having to start with purchasing a sheet metal brake. This is I would recommend getting an 8-foot brake to start, but if you happen to find a 10-foot brake for around the same price, I would splurge for that, because having that expandability into different types of sizing might actually be worth your while. But you'll expect to pay around $4,000 for this particular product, and this is where metal fabrication is going to start. Every metal shop, every sign shop that's currently doing light boxes, sign cabinets, custom fabrication, and channel letters is using a metal brake. Some other pieces of equipment that you might consider purchasing would be a CNC machine. Now, you can splurge a little bit on a CNC machine, or you can do a CNC machine, a CNC router on a budget. I personally got started with a CNC router from this company here, Build Your CNC, where they gave you a kit to assemble, and inside that kit you learn the ins and outs of how the CNC machine will actually work. But you put it together, and it's basically a really cost-effective way of getting a well-oiled and a seasoned machine on a budget. If you don't want to do that route, if you're looking to just kind of jump into it with both feet, I would recommend going with a Laguna machine. If you go with a Laguna machine, I would recommend getting their Swift MT model. This is a very good CNC router that has the ability of doing precision cutting with a tangential knife, which can come in very handy when you have to do those substrate cuts that you already might be doing. And then finally, if you're really going to want to do channel letters in a particular way where you're going to want to do at least maybe like a 1 set, 2 sets a week, I would be recommending going with a automatic channel letter bending machine that has the ability of pumping out letters by the minute rather than actually taking hours to do a set. This particular machine, I like this from Tool Lots. This is about an $8,700 before shipping. But this machine doesn't come with any of the coil, so you would have to get the coil as well. But once you take the investment, and once you get that investment and you actually want to get into channel letter bending, this is going to become a necessary tool if you're going to be starting to do channel letters on a consistent basis and not necessarily maybe like 1 or 2 a month. If you're going to do 1 or 2 a week, I would try and get into this piece of equipment here because it's really going to expand your gross profit margin there a little bit. All right, so I hope that really answers your question. Quite frankly, like I said, it's a question that many sign shop owners have asked before. I chose to actually get into fabrication when I had to make that decision. I like the gross dollar amount. I wanted to kind of become in line with some of the other local sign shops. That might be a good way of exploring whether or not this is good enough for you. Is what are your local competitors doing? Does expanding your business give you a competitive advantage over your competition, or does it not? Are you in line with what your competition is doing? And now you can explore the pricing angle and maybe trying to look for those hot spots, look for the weak points in what your competition is currently offering. But I would recommend getting into the sign fabrication business. I believe that most sign shops want to become a well-rounded sign shop operation, but if you decide not to, there are plenty of vendors out there that you can outsource this work to. That means you can still take in the order, but give away some margin by outsourcing it to some of our vendors. And if you need some vendor recommendations, be sure to leave me a comment or question below, and I'll be sure to put that in the notes. Thank you very much. This is Peter with Shopbox, and I look forward to getting more of your questions. Have a nice day, and stay positive out there.